that than cut and slash services to the vulnerable, the elderly and our young people. Yes. And as a result of that, we've managed to weather the storm reasonably well. Now, the problem is that we've got another set of cuts coming along in the next 4 years of the same order that we've just had to deal with in the last 4 years. So, you know, we're looking at around another 80 million or so having to be cut out of our budget. So over 8 years, that will be the equivalent of 50% or more cuts to our budget. Now, our local Tories, as well as running around saying that we've saved the A&Es, which frankly, as I've said, is one of the biggest lies I've ever heard, they're also running around making all kinds of wild promises. Now that comes as a result of the fact that they know that they're going to stay in opposition, and that's where they're destined to be, and they're desperate. So they're prepared to say anything, they're not costing anything, and you can be sure that if they got in Ealing, not only would we have our A&E closing and Charing Cross's A&E closing, but services would be slashed, our children's centres would be closed, and our leisure centres would be closed, our elderly people would have their care cut, and all of those things that you associate with Hammersmith would come to Ealing. So be warned and think about that when you go to vote on the 22nd of May. Let me just finish by, because I've probably about used my time up, haven't I? I'm reasonably good at filling my time up. Yeah, let me just give you an update on where we are. Again, you know, we've tried everything as the council. We went for judicial review. Outrageous the way that the judge threw that out. Playing all kinds of legal tricks. It was a disgrace. We referred our scrutiny committee, and we've got Councillor Cllr, who chairs our scrutiny committee. He made sure that we referred the decision to the independent reconfiguration panel, and they did their inquiry, and that was what Hunt made his announcement on, but effectively rubber stamped everything that Schaff was proposing. And yes, to be honest, we didn't get very far with the IRP either, but we tried. We'll continue to keep trying. At the moment, the plan is, and this isn't in public yet, but we know this is going to happen. They're planning to close the A&E at both Central Middlesex and Hammersmith in June. They don't want to close it in May because they don't want to have the trouble of doing this during the election. So you know what they're up to. So again, we know we've got not just a winter crisis in the A&Es, we've got an all-season, all through the year crisis in the A&Es. Northwick Park is almost on constant divert in terms of not having sufficient capacity to take all the A&E cases that are coming to it. So what do? They close 2 A&Es when we're in crisis, and the current A&Es have not got the capacity to actually deal with the pressures that are there all year round. I've said it's madness, I've said it's dangerous, and it will cost lives if they don't stop. So we need to make a lot of noise about that and keep that in the centre of the public debate to make sure that we put as much pressure on them to stop them closing the A&Es at Hammersmith, at Hammersmith and Central Mid. The other thing that's come out is that they are going to close earlier than was anticipated the maternity unit at Ealing. And so, and this is what we've been saying till we were blue in the face, that if you make the decision public and you hold the axe above Ealing Hospital and its maternity service, then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And immediately, those staff who are working in that maternity unit, knowing that in a few years' time their jobs are going to go and that unit's going to be closed down, despite the millions of pounds that have been invested in it, which is a disgrace that now they're closing it, those staff have started to drift away. So what are they saying to us? Exactly what we predicted. It's not safe to provide a maternity unit at Ealing Hospital, so we're drawing up contingency plans in order to close it earlier than we anticipated. So they have a plan now to close it by February 2015. Now, again, we need to fight that. We need to, let people know what's happening, and also the dangers that this causes, because again, they haven't got the extra capacity in the other hospitals where our mothers-to-be are going to have to go to deliver their babies if they close the maternity unit here in Ealing. So, exactly what we said about the maternity unit will also be the case for Charing Cross and Ealing, in that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So 3 years down the line, 4 years down the line is when they're saying they're going to close it, but I think they're going to come a lot earlier and say we're going to have to do it, and they're going to use safety grounds. Now, final thing, Eve, and then I will shut up. It is political. We brought Andy Burnham down to the A&E after Hunt made his announcement. Andy said to the staff while I was with them and with him that these proposals are clinically unsafe and we must do something about it. Andy Slaughter, Steve Pound, Verenda Shaw and myself, we're in discussions with Andy Burnham. We're going to see him again shortly, and we're going to fight to protect our hospitals and fight to protect our NHS in Ealing. Thanks very much.